Our goal today is to be able to share with you a little bit about how Master Builder can help you as a service contractor. When you're doing work orders, dispatching it to various types of technicians, how you can use the system, truly maximize and have a fully integrated construction suite. To start off with, just a little bit about Alliance Solutions. Alliance Solutions partners up with Sage to work with companies in both Texas, Florida, California. We will also work up in Oklahoma, Louisiana, and the surrounding states. And just in the Texas area, we have about 7 certified consultants. Over in Florida, we have another 6 consultants, and then the identical amount over in California. And so we make sure that we have coverage to be able to cover our customers locally and to be able to reach out to them and help them as they install something like Master Builder. A little bit about Sage. Sage is one of the larger middle market software developers in the country. Master Builder is one of the products they have. They have over 35,000 construction and real estate customers. 9,000 of them currently are on support with Sage Master Builder. Now this is a little bit of a review of what Master Builder covers. And so it'll allow us to have a fully integrated system from estimating to project management through accounting and then through the analysis and reporting. This is a quick snapshot of a service dispatch screen. So we're going to delve into this and really focus on this today. As a contractor, what you can do to maximize your business and actually keep track of things a lot better by using Sage Construction 100. So I'm going to leave this PowerPoint screen and pull up the system. So I've just logged into Sage 100 Construction. And so you can see here, the menu structure is a lot like people are used to, where depending on if we're looking for clients and services, we would click on that option. If we're dealing with vendor and purchasing, we could see that flow. If we're dealing with projects, we can choose the project tab. Now, one of the benefits of this is it's not a fixed flow chart that we're looking at here. It allows us to add reports on here, change the flow, actually customize the diagram based on our personal workflow. So when you find out a certain report that you run or a certain data entry screen you go into, you can put it onto your own flow chart, so it truly makes it easy for you to be able to learn and keep track of and be able to work with Sage 100 Contractor. Here's the payroll screen. So as we scroll across, you can see how the screen changes depending on what section of the area I want to go into. Also, you can see here, if I click on Show Menus, I do have the original menus available for people that are more comfortable with it. Also, one of the things they've added is the ability to have a customized menu. So if I choose through my menu system and decide out of all the options, all the reports, all the screens that I want to work with, I can make a personal menu. So again, I have a much smaller subset to be able to work with. So that's an option depending on if we want to use the menus or if we want to go straight from the desktop. Now I'll scroll down a little bit here. You can see I have a higher resolution so that it'll be easy to broadcast today. You can see that when you have a normal screen, this fills up the whole screen, but I've made it a little bit larger resolution so it'd be easy to see remotely. Let's look at one of the things that when we first come into the system, we have the ability, of course, with security to be able to lock people out of certain areas and lock them out of doing certain types of inquiries or looking at certain information or even doing data entry. But when we first come into the system, we have the ability to have an individual dashboard customized for each person or groups of persons, and then they're able to come in there and look at the things that have happened most recently that are important for them to know about today. So this is an example of using the dashboard for a service-driven company. So we can see across the top, I can see a quick look at my income and expenses by month. I can see my alerts that have happened in the system. I can see my aging reports. And all of these, just like our regular reports, have the ability to drill down. So I can see who owes us money and actually drill down into the original work order if I need to. Now the alerts are basically a way to do exception reporting. So if you find that when certain things happen in the system, you want to be alerted either on your dashboard or through an email, you can have the system set up that way. So let's look at the alerts we have in here today. So So we can see here we have an alert of the jobs that have been added. We also have an alert which is our past due work orders. And so I structured this so it would send me an alert of every work order that was scheduled prior to today that has not been invoiced or completed yet. You can obviously move that out to a 3, 4, 5 day time frame. But what that allows you to focus in on is you want to make sure, and a key part of work order management is you want to make sure you don't leave something out there with billing it or taking care of it. And so this allows you to not only look for them in the system, but sends you an alert to that effect. And then we have various other types of accounting type of alerts, like did we post a work order in the wrong accounting period, and it will give us an alert us associated with that. Let's go back into it. And so we have various ones here. We have the financials, change orders, cash flow, payables, receivables, various different options we're able to work with. And just like our reports, when we drill down into it, here's our financial report. I'll make this a little bigger. And if we want to see information about our financials, we can drill down into it further. Now, one thing before I leave the dashboard is here's the example of the different gadgets that we can put on our dashboard. So I'm not going to go through them in detail, but it just shows you we can pick and choose the things that are important to us so that Sage has not made a fixed dashboard that they think you're going to want to look at, but they've allowed you to customize it and make it look the way you want so you can just see the information that you care about in your business. All right, we're going to go into one of the big improvements they made in the service and work orders is a couple of versions ago they allowed you to have not only a 1-day but a 5-day dispatch board. What you're looking at here is one of the fresh new user interfaces. So I'm going to walk through a simple version of getting a work order on the phone, how we put a work order in the system, to another type of work order which is focusing on more repetitive type work orders, and then show you how we can do this also from the dispatch board and move things around the dispatch board. So I'm going to start off first in our work order system. This is a screen that someone can have up on their screen, on their desktop, if they do a lot of the dispatching. Now, one of the nice little features in the system is if the person knows the address they're calling in from, if they know the phone number they're calling in from, or of course the location, we can just type it in and pull it up very quickly. So let's say we know their phone number, and we just want to pull up who that customer is. So all I do is hit my F9 key, and it pulls up that customer and ties it directly into it. So I don't have to go search through a database and find this customer. If I know their main number, I can pull it up rather quickly. Here's an example of one of our reminder alerts. So this is telling me right away that this person's past due, so I can decide to act on it or and put this on hold or to go ahead and use it. Now we can see up here, Heritage Apartments is the customer that this brings up. Now with Heritage, this particular contractor works in various units. And so a subset of Heritage Apartments is the different apartment numbers within it. So the phone call is coming in about doing some work in apartment 101. So we tie it into 101. Then I can simply come over here to this tab, and I'm going to come up and do some specialty work here. I have this pre-filled with some other specialty work. Let me make a change here. I'm going to pull up a fresh record. I was pulling up the history of that one. So I'm going to come in here and make a fresh record of a service work order, and I'm going to say check AC. And then I'm going to make a special note to the technician, see Susie at the office for the key. Now from here, that's as simple as I can do. I can put that together and now dispatch this out to a technician. So I'm going to go ahead and save this record, and we'll dispatch this out in a little bit. Now, another option may be is let's say we have repetitive work orders, and I'm an HVAC contractor, and we're getting a call in, and they want to have their HVAC maintained. So what we can do is we can have templates that are preloaded out there of various things that we do repetitively with different customers. So I'm going to load this in. So it brings in a particular task And now I can go out there and choose a particular customer. I'm going to bring in Jones. That's what I'm going to do the work with. They don't have any sub-locations. And so with this, you can see it preloads in a task. This is to do monthly AC unit inspections. And so it tells me we charge $250 for this, and here's all the items that are included within this. Now again, right away I can turn around and say, okay, I know who the service technician is that I want to put this on. So I'm going to go ahead and choose which technician is going to do the work, and even schedule a certain day for them. So I'm going to say I'm going to go out on Monday and do the work. And it's going to start at 8 a.m. and finish at noon. So I can go ahead and schedule this to Susan to do that work. So it makes it real simple to be able to use some different templates out there to quickly be able to create various types of work orders. So in that last work order, if I wanted to send it out real quickly, here's various types of reporting functions I'm able to work with. So I'm going to take a very simple little work orders with notes. And this just tells me here's the information I need to go with and who I'm going to send it to. I don't have their address in here. So it can be very quickly sent out to somebody. Now, a normal process a lot of times is we'll take these various types of work orders in, we'll save them, and then we'll turn around and pull them up on the dispatch board. So I'm going to go into the dispatch board now. And here's a dispatch board that's been filled out with various activities. So right now I have 4 people listed on my dispatch board. I could have a one-day view like we're looking at now and just look at Friday and see what's going on with my different technicians. I can also scroll forward to Monday and see what I have scheduled with my technicians. So it allows me to go one day at a time. Generally, most people work with more of a 5-day calendar, which is where Sage came up with the idea of let's look at all 5 days so that we can truly see what's available the rest of the week and be able to roll forward with it. Now, some of the things you may notice on the dashboard is the different color coding that goes on here. So one of the things we see in here when we see the color code, we see there's a green work order and we also see there's a beige work order. That tells me the green one is warranty and the beige one is for a regular work order. That's all customizable so that you can make the dashboard highlight the way you want to. The little buttons in the top right-hand corner, we can see here that this one's red, this one's green, this one's gray. Those all relate to the priority of the work order. So red stands for emergency, gray there stands for hold, green stands for low, orange stands for urgent. And again, these are customizable based on what you think the urgency of your work orders are so the dispatch board can quickly see them and decide what to do with them. You can see on the left-hand side, here's various work orders that have not been dispatched yet that are waiting in the queue. So it's going to put it under those same urgency calendars. Is it based on emergency, urgent, prompt? And again, you can customize these and even add additional ones. So it allows you to have up to 8 different types out there that you can track. Now you'll notice one more color on the work order, which is in the top left-hand corner. What that is what part of the area of your work order area that you're sending this to. So what I did with my test database here was I just based it on parts of the city, north, south, east, west, northwest. So we can see yellow down here, this is the south part of the city. Light blue is northwest, dark blue is north. So as we scroll through, you can see the different categories. And so if I work in one major metropolitan city, I don't want to send somebody all the way across town to do a 1-hour work order. And so I can visually see what side of town they're in without having to pull them up on a map. Now you'll notice over here, I'll bring my highlighter out. You'll notice over here that this particular work order has a little envelope in the top left-hand corner. What that means is that I've already emailed that to the technician asking him to work on it. Now, a couple of the options we have out there is, at the beginning of the day, I can email the first work order to every technician out there and quickly send it out. I can email directly to them all the work orders I have scheduled for that particular day. A lot of people like to do just one dispatch out there per day, and then as the person finishes it, they call in and we send the next one in line. So what that little envelope tells us is if we've done that or not. Let's say on this particular one here, I'm going to scroll down to Northwest here, and let's say I just want to email this technician that particular work order now. I can turn around, email it quickly. You can see the little box up there where it creates the email, and now an email has been sent to them. All it is a simple little smartphone that's going to show up on their email. And you have control over what shows up on that email. So one of the settings we have up here is what it's going to look like, what's going to show up. I can pick and choose what's going to show up on my email. So my example here, just email myself, see if we can see it over here, is very simple text message, and I chose to put on there the work order, the address, the person, the date, time, and the various notes associated with it. So this can show up on a smartphone very quickly and allow them to be able to go to that particular address. Now, working from here, I can choose to look at these work orders in more detail, so the navigation is very strong. So if I want to right-click on this and actually open up that work order, it allows me to go into that work order. I can see who it's been dispatched to. I can see any notes associated with this. Was there any notes that were made out there for the technician to know? And I can see that what I have to do with the work order. So it allows me to quickly go into the work order and then bounce back into the dispatch screen. Now, some other things it allows me to do is quickly see a work order. So if I just want to see a snapshot of the work order without drilling down into it, I can see that real quickly. So I can see the work order, the client, the location, the scheduled dates, and the notes associated with it. And some last functionality allows me to move the work order to a different day. So if I know I just want to move it to a different day, instead of physically dragging it, I can choose to move it to a different day. So if I want to move this to the 30th, I can do that, and you can see how it moved to the 30th. I could also just manually move it inside my work order screen and drag and drop it and decide what size it's going to be. So we have some of those different opportunities. Now on the left, you can see that those are my work orders that I haven't assigned to anybody yet. So I see the one up here that's the emergency for South, and it's the number 2 work order. So I'm going to drag this over to Paul to start on Monday morning, handle this starting at 8 o'clock. And I'm going to give him about 30 minutes of travel time associated with that. Then I can turn around and email it to him if I want to, so that he'll have that when Monday morning starts. And so it's as easy as that. These work orders have been created out there. I can drag and drop. Now let's take it to the next step. Let's say that we prefer working from the dispatch board, because in our company, when calls come in, they want to know when we're going to be out there. And so we want to be able to handle that customer service and treat our customers properly. So we get a call in, today's Friday. We get a call in, and they want somebody there on Monday morning. So I look at my calendar here and I say, okay, John has Monday morning available, but Paul and Millie's painting don't. So I'm going to come in here and set aside this time. And so I'm going to say assign to a new work order. Now the work order screen comes up with all the signatures going. Now I just need to decide who I'm going to send this to, and if there's any notes I want to put in here. And again, if I want to put any notes to that technician, quickly do all that, and then save it, and I'm back on to the next work order. So it allows us to quickly be able to identify that information, put work orders out there, and to be able to analyze it. Now I'm going to drop back into my work order screen. So I've been dispatching work orders, sending work orders out there to work with. Now I want to do some analysis. So one of the quick analysis I'm able to do is that we always want to know what work orders are out there that we need to either bill or complete. So I'm going to run this query here. And this is a simple little query that allows me to see real quickly all the work orders I have in the system. I can make this so it'll sort by client, by scheduled date, by finish date, whatever I choose to do, and it allows me to be able to work with whatever I want to. And so it allows us to quickly go in there and see those work orders and make adjustments. Here's a few other ones out there. I can see which work orders have been dispatched. I can quickly see the work order, the selected date, the finished date, and all the ones we've dispatched out there, what the status is. And of course, I can run this for a certain week time frame. Now, some of the nuances that we have within the work order system is, I'm going to click on New here. We can not only create work orders, but we can create routes. So if you have the same route that someone takes, maybe once a month they go out and maintain an HVAC system. Once a week they go out and do some work at various locations. I can create a route, and it'll allow me to create one work order that creates all the locations of where those people need to go. I can also create contracts, and that allows me to be able to bill someone on a monthly, quarterly, weekly basis on whatever maintenance contract I have set up with them. It also allows me to be able to manage the profitability, so I can see the total cost of those contracts, the total revenue of those contracts, and see if I'm making money with it. Now I'm going to go into one of my work orders here. Work order number 28 here. This gives you a little visual into the whole integration of the system. So on this little test work order over there, I selected in there on payroll, I put time associated with this attached to this work order, and also materials that I purchased that were going to go with this work order. So it allows me to quickly see the profitability of this work order when I post it. It allows me to see that my total cost is $211, I'm billing $250. And so some systems you can't truly get profit by work order, which is key because you want to make sure each one of these work orders are making money. In Master Builder, you can track profit through payroll, through accounts payable, even through journal entries, and attach it to various work orders so you can truly see the profitability and make sure you're making money. People will a lot of times use this report to be able to do commissions off of it if we're using commissions and paying our technicians that way. Another thing along this line, one of the features it has in here, so we've talked about creating work orders, billing work orders, attaching cost to work orders. One of the other things it gives us the ability to do is, you can see here I got an employee and I've scheduled time for that employee. There's columns over here that allow me to come in here and put in the actual time for that employee. So we have scheduled time and the actual time. Now the true benefit of this is most of the time the processes we see is the work order comes back to the work order desk once it's been completed, that person bills it, and then they send that work order over to somebody in accounting to maybe put into payroll for the hours they worked on that work order or have it feed someplace else. A very efficient process here is I can note when I'm processing that work order, I can note how many hours the technician spent on it, which could be different than the hours we actually bill. That feeds directly to payroll, so I don't have to double input anything. So it's doing an automatic check for you. So even if you get a weekly payroll sheet in from that person, now you will automatically be able to check it against what they put on the work order. So it ties it all together and makes it a lot smoother process to make sure that you're paying the technicians for what they did and you're making money on those particular work orders and tracking all the costs associated with it. Now, some of the things we can do within the work order screen, we can see we can post the work orders, the routes out there. I can view cost. If I want to quickly see all the work orders I have in the system, I can do a quick drop down and find the work orders that are out there. If I want to find out other invoices that this client has, I can quickly do that. And so it gives me the ability to drill down into various aspects of the program. If I create a purchase order to buy something from this work order, it again attaches it to the work order and allows me to see it, and allows me to see the information associated with it. I'm going to exit out of this screen, get back to the main screen. And so some other nuances within the work orders, I can put deposits on there which will be recorded. If I bill the customer, I can turn around and send out cash receipts and post cash receipts associated with it. One of the key things is most people are going to electronic, so all of my invoices can be electronically emailed to all the customers out there, so we don't have to deal with paperwork and sending things through the mail system. Again, making it as efficient as possible. Well, I hope it was a good overview today, so it gives you a feel for what work orders do for the specialty contractor and the dispatch board. As a system, there's about 1,800 service contractors, and there's about another 2,000 specialty contractors that use Master Builder. And so a lot of the programs have been built around satisfying those needs of people that are self-performing, not only doing work orders, but also doing construction jobs from the ground up. We'll continue to have a series with Alliance. If you have any questions or would like to learn further, and if you'd like to delve into it a little bit deeper to see how it would actually work for your company, let us know. Please give us a call at Alliance. The number should be on the email you received, and we look forward to hearing more from you and seeing if we can help out and seeing if we can help maximize your day and make your life a lot easier so you can focus on what you do best.